This is Matthew Shack, and you're listening to The Flow Sports Radio Show. Well, after 19 years with one team and 5 NBA titles, one of the greatest players in NBA history calls it quits. Tim Duncan from the San Antonio Spurs has announced his retirement. Tim Duncan, to me, and here on the Flow Sports Radio Show, we don't do the groupie thing, man. We call it like it is. So I'm going to get it in early. Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward of all time. Now, I didn't say the most exciting power forward. I said the greatest. Because I can't find anybody numbers-wise that can compete with him. His consistency over the course of 19 years just made him be number one without being dramatic. You can even venture to say that he was very boring as a player. He didn't have a lot of emotional outbursts on court. He didn't show any emotion. He was always a stone-faced character, like his coach Greg Popovich. And even though that he was tall enough to be a center and was listed as a power forward, that was the position he played majority of his career. He went number 1 in the draft in 97, played with the same team, playing with David Robinson, Parker, and Ginobili. The list goes on and on. He was surrounded by great players at all times. But he never bolted. He never left. He never did a LeBron James. He never did a Kevin Durant. He did a Kobe. And in that Western Conference, he had to deal with Kobe a lot. And he won 5 out of 6 NBA championships. So when you look at power forwards, who can be better than him? Let's go down a quick list. Usual suspects would include Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Garnett, Elvin Hayes, Dolph Schayes, and Kevin McHale. And don't forget the worm, Dennis Rodman. This isn't about what the masses say. This is about what the Flow Sports Radio Show says. And I've seen all those players I've named outside of Dolph Schayes play in my lifetime, whether it be live or on television. I'm not going to lie to you, man. Unless you were a purist with basketball, I was born to watch Tim Duncan. I may be a purist and I may be an aficionado, but damn, the Spurs were boring as hell to watch, man. And my baby brother is a Spurs fan. Matter of fact, the last time I saw him, he had on a damn Spurs hat talking about, yeah, that's right. I'm looking at him like, man, y'all boring as hell, man. But he said what I'm getting ready to say. But we win. And that's all that matters, man. Who's winning? Y'all get caught up with how somebody wins, what they did to win, all that. Just win, baby. Period. That's all you got to do, and that's what he did. Tim Duncan was a perennial winner. He came to a good team. They were a 50-win team when he got there. But guess what? He didn't make them bad, and he kept them on the winning streak. He kept them winning chips. Who's better than him? You want to talk about personality / talent at the power forward position? You got to give it to Charles Barkley. Because nobody's a greater interview than Chuck. That's why he's on TV every damn night. But he has 0 chips. Karl Malone, he has the statistics, second all time in scoring, 0-2 in the finals, no chips. Kevin McHale, 3-time champion, doesn't have the numbers to keep up with Duncan. Now Dirk Nowitzki, better scorer, more points, 1 chip. That's not getting it done. Okay? What did Chris Rock say as Little Penny? Say hello to my boy Kevin Garnett. Now KG, now we can talk. Because KG was a polar opposite of Tim Duncan. He was exciting. He played on a one-man team. He had the statistics. But he only has 1 chip, man. Much as I love KG, I love KG. But he isn't better than Tim Duncan. The Worm, Dennis Rodman, got the chips, don't have the offensive production, but he did dominate. Who else we gonna get? Tim Duncan's the greatest power forward of all time. Hate it or love it. Simple as that. Now I'll tell you who will be the greatest power forward of all time before it's all said and done. And that is the unibrow, basketball's Al B. Sure, Anthony Davis, New Orleans Pelicans. If he can avoid the injury bug and he can get him some chips, or he can transfer to a market where he can get him some chips, he will be greater than Tim Duncan. But until then, game on. Game on.